Hi, I'm talking to Sue Stevens. This is Paul Slatkus, Good News Broadcast. Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Sue, we have a thought for the day, and we used the part of the title, "Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is," as our thought for the day. Congratulations on the book, Finding Financial Happiness, and we have a beautiful heart here and a beautiful picture, and you're a founder of Stevens Wealth Management, a fee-only independent investment advisory firm, and author of an award-winning columns for Morningstar. Okay, congratulations. You must be feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had some success with the book. It won 3 awards in May, and more importantly to me, the reason I wrote it was to try to help people in these somewhat challenging times figure out how to make the best use of their money and put it into things that they love.
Okay, put it into things that they love. Let me ask one more thing, and then let's go to that. Put the money into things that they love. You have a long, The Surprise of Roses by Rumi. Okay, It's just you're kind of like a spiritual approach to this whole financial considerations in people's lives. Am I reading this right?
Oh, you're absolutely reading it right. I'm a very spiritual person. I love Rumi. I think his message is timeless. I've spent time studying with the Dalai Lama and many other spiritual things in my life. Mysticism in particular interests me a lot. And I think, what has been missing from our culture is just how that affects our money. Our money is just another reflection of energy in our life, and I think we need to be thinking about how we can use that, in healthier ways.
Okay, I like that. That's good news. And so, how can we do that?
Well, I think, there's a number of things that people can do to move in that direction, and my book touches on several of those. One of the first things that I usually tell people to do is just to understand where they stand. And you can do that through a net worth statement. It's a very simple thing. We have templates at our financial-happiness.com website for people to use. And really what I see is most people have no idea really where they stand financially. They don't know what they own. They have not thought about balance. Balance is one of those things that's important in all aspects of life, but definitely in your financial life. So I encourage people to just get the facts in front of them and then look at it sort of interpretively.
Now, what do you mean by balance?
Well, balance can influence really all aspects of your financial life. On the net worth statement, where you list all your assets, your home, everything you own, I like to see balance between retirement accounts, non-retirement accounts, and your house. One of the things we saw that was out of balance for a lot of people was they owned too much in real estate, or they were putting too much emphasis there, and we all know what happened, in the last few years. So anything that sort of sticks out can be a red flag when you're looking at your overall financial picture. It also applies to your investments. So the way that you balance stocks and bonds and cash also, has big implications for what you should expect from that portfolio. So, I think there's 2 key things here. One is knowing what you own, and that's true in both of those areas. And the other thing is making sure that all things are in balance.
So I see on your website here, financial-happiness.com. Okay, our financial happiness process. Okay, and you have you've been doing this for some years, over 20, say, here, and you have 3. Let's call them manuals of some sort. I don't know if that's a good word, but
yeah,
would you consider that? Okay. The financial happiness process has 3 primary parts. Okay, the focus, the financial vision. Okay, so does somebody? Do you work directly with me? Do I call you and say, Sue, help?
Yes, you could do that. What I try to do is make sure that I can help in a wide variety of circumstances. If you need individual help, you might be a candidate for our Stevens Wealth Management business. and that website is stevenswealth.com. If you need help and you're just starting out, my book, which is the Put Your Money Where Your Heart Is, can, for a very low price point, help someone figure out the basic nuts and bolts, and then it leads into this website that we're talking about. And one of the things at my website that people also find helpful is a Radiant Wealth newsletter, and that has these 3 sections you were just talking about: the focused financial vision, portfolio peace of mind, and it's not just retirement, it's the rest of your life, which is how I look at those years. So there's help here in a wide variety of ways.
So how do you get somebody, though, who is like, geez, I'm lucky if I can figure out what I'm doing today?
Right.
Mindset, or to the weekend is even a big deal. To try to help them stabilize, I'm going to use the word stabilize, to find personal focus and financial focus. What do you think is the key that helps somebody get that? They get inundated by too much of not moving forwards, or health condition, or how do we avoid that from happening?
I think the main thing that people need to do is simplify. You can get anxious about financial things. You can think there's so many things you have to know that you never do anything. So to me, the main thing is you probably need to carve out an hour a week and sit down and think about what you're doing with your money. And one of the tools that we created that's available in all these different places we've mentioned is we took Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right.
And what I did with it is I thought about how can we use this in a budgeting process. So at the most basic level here, where we're trying to get through, today to the weekend, budgeting, and people don't like that word, but let's call it a spending plan. You can think about it in the way that Maslow did in, these different layers of needs that we all have. And what I think is key, and what we've tried to show through the templates and exercises we are offering, is that each of those levels needs to be addressed, including the ones that are about self-actualization and self-esteem, all the way down to security and physiological things that you need. It's all a matter of proportion. So what I always say is it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's just all about looking at what you do have and figuring out how to deploy it in a way that supports the things that you love the most. And that varies, depending on who you are.
Well, you have a lot of good news here. I see that. Join today and save 37% on your award-winning book here.
Sure.
That's on their financial happiness. You happen to like the name Abraham, and you quote this gentleman named Abraham Lincoln. Most folks are about as happy as they make up their minds to be. So I think that almost sums a lot of this up. I like speaking with you a lot. You have a lot of good news, and even your cover of your book is quite creative and opens up the brain to think about, in essence, your heart and your money where your heart is. That's a beautiful concept. It's such an important concept because I don't know if everybody does that. I don't know if they take that moment to say, I'm using it in this wise way. I think you're onto something here.
Well, thank you. And, I think more people should take a look at it that way. It's much more satisfying to live your life that way. And I think maybe some of the big shifts we're seeing in our world right now will help people refocus what they're doing with their money. So I think you can look at it from a positive viewpoint.
Excellent. Okay, then last question for you, Sue, at this time, and I'd love to speak with you again, is what's good news for you?
Oh, I think it's almost all good news. I'm a very optimistic person, and I feel like, every day is sort of, in a series of possibilities. And what guides us is listening to that inner voice, and I think eventually it boils down to following your heart, keeping things simple, and making every part of your life reflect who you are, which includes your money.
Fantastic. Sue, thanks so much for sharing.
You're very welcome.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.